So I'm going to do that again for the camera. Rolling that edge, 45-degree angle. So that edge is just a little bit thinner. Okay? So now it's a little thinner around there. And I want to do it from the inside out. Just it makes more sense for the water to come out that way. Okay? So this is leather hard. This one got a little bit too dry. You see those cracks that are opening up there? This is probably destined for the garbage can, because when I made it this morning, it had been in my humidor all weekend and it got too dry. So as I rolled it, it started cracking. So I made this one this morning and it's not cracking. It's doing really well. I need somebody's rolling pin. Thank you. Okay, so when you roll out your clay flat with a rolling pin, look up here and listen, put your phones down. Trying to go fast. When you roll clay out with a rolling pin, all the platelets align themselves flat, right? So when you try to curl clay around, it wants to go back to being flat. That's why corners open up again. And there's quite a few bowls that the corners sort of opened up again. I learned the hard way that they're always going to open up again unless you do this. So I'm going to take this rolling pin, I'm going to take my slab and I'm going to roll it too far. So I'm going to roll it right around my rolling pin and go slow so it doesn't crack, and push around the surface of the rolling pin. Okay, so now it's gone too far, like this. Okay, so it's overlapped there. I'm going to let that sit and let it remember that it wants to be round, so that when it opens up, it'll open up to there where I want it to be. Okay, so I want it to remember that it wants to be round. And I know it's not really a memory thing, but it's the platelets. They want to be round. Okay, so let's pretend I let it sit for about 5 minutes or so. Now I'm going to join. So there's a few different ways to join. This one was really kind of hard, so I overlapped. See that joint there is overlapped? Right? So if you overlap, this guy got overlapped right here. You see the overlap? And then I put some little buttons on it. That overlap can't be where you put your lips because it'll be too thick there. So as long as you are careful about where you put the handle, you can overlap if you want, or you can butt join like we did for the bowls, butt join, or you can bevel join. I'm going to bevel join this guy. So I'm going to overlap it a little bit, like that. And then I'm going to take my fettling knife, I'm going to use an X-Acto knife, and I'm going to cut through both sides at the same time at an angle. You with me? Watch this. It's magical. Okay, so I'm going to put my blade at an angle. I'm going to cut through both. At the same time. That will make a perfect bevel that exactly matches that one. Brilliant. Okay, so then I'm going to score. Where's my scoring tool? Darvan water. Score Darvan water. Join. And I can usually join and jiggle, give it a little bit of smooth up there so that it joins. And then I'll turn it over and join the other half. And it should meet perfectly. Okay. Look at how much thicker the bottom is compared to the top because I rolled that a little bit thinner. Okay? Then what I'm going to do is smooth out the inside, give it a little bit of a compression on the inside, and then on the outside, use my rolling pin to press against and smooth that joint. You'll lose a little bit of your texture right there, but it'll be a good solid joint that won't pull apart. Okay? So let that gel for a little bit. Here's a good tip I learned from Sarah Pike, the artist that makes these cups. She makes these cups by hand. So she uses a flower pot, regular old flower pot. You stick that in the top just until it fits in there. Then you can sort of mold it around there. Perfect circle. I'll do that on the bottom. This cup, I made about 60 of these for a wedding. This one I kept because it wasn't quite round. And these are made the exact same way that you made yours. So this one wasn't quite round, so I didn't let it be given away. So you do that so it's nice and round. And then the top, I usually let it sit there for a few minutes and let it remember to be round while I get the bottom ready. So now putting the base on, it's pretty simple. I'm going to start with circle, and then I'm going to put my signature in the bottom, and I'm going to put some textures around there, just on the bottom, just because. And then, so what you can do, you can use one of these flower pots for the circle, then it makes it really easy to just sort of cut out bigger than that circle generally. And then flip that puppy over. This guy will get turned over. You can put it on the flower pot or you can leave it on the table. Flower pot helps to keep it nice and round. Score. Where's my paintbrush? Darvan water. Score. Darvan water. And then this bottom here, I'm going to score. I'm not super worried about getting these scoring marks on the inside of my cup because I can get rid of those with my paintbrush. And I'm not entirely sure where it's going to attach yet, so I'm just going to score in Darvan water. A good circle. And make sure that's good and round, and attach it on and give it a good shimmy, little jiggle. Okay, let that sit for a few minutes and gel so that it really attaches well. And then if you want to, I always like to use one of these little turntables because then I can turn it as it goes. If you use one of these turntables, they come apart in the middle, so don't pick them up by the top. The bottom falls on the floor. Okay, next step. Take your fettling knife. We've got too much on the bottom, so there's two things we can do. I'm going to do sort of I'm going to do half and half. So I'm going to do half of this right to the base, right? And then you run your finger along the edge, and that is a good joint. And paintbrush on the inside to compress it from the inside. Just clean up that bottom edge. This one though, this half, I'm going to fold it over a little bit.